Yeah, I so agree. And I don't think we got through the first week.
I got through
Like,
the first week. I think I got like 5 days.
yeah,
Well, we'll call it a working week and not a 7 day week. So I got through 5 days, and I felt like after those 5 days, I'm like, the reduced sugar and not eating after 6, like you, had a profound impact on my body itself. Like, I
yeah,
felt one, I wasn't even craving the sugar anymore, which is often a big thing for me that I just crave the sugar. So even after just 5 days, I wasn't craving the sugar. And I just felt from head to toe like my body just physically felt good. My bones weren't creaking as much. I didn't feel bloated or anything along those lines. Like everything just seemed to work a lot better. But not having the intent for my dreams, like you, I felt lost. And
yeah,
I don't think I could go through the whole week without the intent. It was really, really challenging. And I was like, okay, I think I've got enough of an idea for, how my dreams are with reduced sugar, no food after 6, and not having intent. I want to see what it's like with intent. And so then I switched. And I think I got like 3 days of doing that. And then, well, Christmas happened and I've just put everything on hold until I'm literally saying until January.
yeah, yeah. After you said that, I was like, yeah, all right, let's just not worry about it for now.
Yeah.
And I always find there was just so much going on around me, like energetically. I was like, this is just too much for me, like having no intention. I think because as you become more aware of your life and reality and what we are, who we are, where we are, that you can't go back. You can't go back to being oblivious to certain things. So when you're like we're intentionally having no intention, then it's just like you're just trying to shut off a part of you that you're trying to ignore. And you're like, it's so hard. Like as soon as you've realized something, you can't go back from that.
Yeah.
So that's what I found really hard to you're shutting a part of you off. And I was finding that I was getting more triggered and annoyed with just the smallest things.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just finding that yeah, intention is the key to everything in your life. So yeah.
Definitely. Do you think for the rest of our loosely planned experiments, do you think we're still gonna have the no intent in there, or should we just be trying intent and various variables to see? Or do you think we should keep the comparison? Or are we just gonna be torturing ourselves by not having intent?
Well, I suppose maybe because it's our intention is so strong. Like I suppose because we're both so intuitive in different ways that maybe like we just have to keep our natural state of the intention and then change the other variables because it's really we are changing who we are, pretending to be something that we're not. So I think
Mm,
that in itself is going to have a huge impact. But if
mm-hmm.
we just change like the things that any person can do is like the food and when you go to sleep, what you do before you sleep, during the day, those sorts of things. I think that will be a better indicator.
Cool. Yeah, I'm
What do you think?
definitely, yeah, I was getting a lot of nudges while you were saying that. That really
Yeah.
it made me more excited for the experiment because the no intention really isn't sitting well with me. But I do encourage our listeners to do your own experiment, see what works for you. And I mean, Biljana and I are just two people. Everybody is different. Everybody does have their own individual journey. But so far, the consensus between Biljana and I is definitely we need to have intention when we go to bed and dream because or in just intention in our life in general because it is the point that we have reached in our journey. There are people in their personal development, their soul journey, whatever you want to call it, that perhaps are not at that intention point yet. And so for people that are at that stage, it doesn't matter at what stage you're at. Feel free to work with one or the other or both. But I think for Biljana and I, we've reached the stage where we live our life with intention, and it is not being true to who we are to not live with intention. So I guess from here on out, reporting on our experiments will be we've learned that intention is important for Biljana and I, and now we're going to focus on if there are substances, foods, drinks, or whatever, when you eat, what types of intention you set. Like for me personally, I know that I don't always set an intention through the day, but I know Biljana, you do. I set my intention before I go to bed. So like that's one area that I could take this to the next level for myself is to see, oh, am I going to have an impact on my dreams if I have a full-on intent of what I want to get out of my dreams during the night? And I am curious with the sleepy time tea or the chamomile tea if that will have an effect. I am a little concerned about needing to get up and pee more in the middle of the night, but we'll see about that.
Well, I suppose that's when you just have it. Well, if we're doing the no food after six is the same thing with the tea.
Yeah,
Even though
perhaps.
even though like you may go to bed at 10, 11, or whatever time,
Well, it depends on
it's
how
still
effective sleepy time tea is. If you don't, if you drink the tea at 5:45, and if it really is sleepy time tea and you fall asleep at 7.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it all depends on individual. Like everyone gets affected differently. So